Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be making a marker print. But before you get started, I want to let you know that this is going to be a messy project, so please make sure you get permission from your parents before you try this at home. Okay, here's what you'll need. Your drawing must be done in permanent marker. That is super important. It doesn't have to be black, any color will work, but it has to be permanent, like a Sharpie. Next, you can see me grabbing my crayons. This part is not necessary, but if you want to color something in before you add your markers, now is the time to do it. Okay, now that I'm all done with my crayons, it's time for me to start with my markers. But before I do that, I need to grab my piece of aluminum foil. Make sure the piece that you use is a little bit bigger than your piece of paper. Okay, freeze! At this time, boys and girls, I need you to grab something to put underneath your aluminum foil. I have a really big piece of paper. You can use newspaper, magazines, you can use a plastic tablecloth, but you need something to put underneath that aluminum foil because this is where it gets a little messy. Okay, now it's time to use our markers. Remember that we have to use washable markers for this step or else the process won't work. We're getting ready to color our aluminum foil, and I'm going to color in rainbow order. So the first color of the rainbow is red, which is what I'm going to start with in the center of my aluminum foil. Watch as I go, and you can follow along with me or make your own design with your markers. Like I said, I'm going to color in rainbow order, so I'm going to start with red. Watch how I start drawing in the center of my aluminum foil, and I'm coloring in a circular motion. Once I'm done with the red, I'm moving on to orange, and I want my orange to bump into the red a little bit, so by the time I add the water, my colors will get to blend together. After orange comes yellow, then green, then blue, then indigo, and violet, and you could throw in pink if you want. If you still have room on your aluminum foil, you can go back to the beginning of the rainbow, back to red. Okay, so remember that I said this could get messy if we're not careful. So one really important tip is to roll up your sleeves. You definitely don't want your arm rubbing into this marker because it will come right off of the aluminum foil and stick to your clothes. So be careful, roll up your sleeves like I should have done. It will also rub off on your fingers and hands. So be sure to keep your fingers away from the marker. You should hold the aluminum foil by the edge as long as it's a clean spot of the foil. And if you do bump into the marker, your finger's gonna wipe that area clean and then the print won't work out as successfully. So keep your hands away from the marker. Okay, now that I'm all done coloring my foil, I'm going to move that out of the way and put my drawing back in front of me. At this time, we're going to need a spray bottle of water, and you can see what I do with the bottle, but if you don't have a spray bottle, that's okay. You can actually just use a clean, damp sponge and it will work the same way. But make sure that you are spraying your drawing and not your aluminum foil. When it's time to spray your drawing, make sure you don't hold it too close to the paper. You don't want to get it soaking wet. So hold your spray bottle about 6 inches away from the drawing, and as you spray, try to make sure you can see where you're spraying because the whole paper needs to get wet, not just spots of it. The way you can tell if it's wet is not by touching it because that will ruin it, but take a look and see if you could see a glare in it. The light should reflect off of the wet spots of your paper. Okay, now I'm gonna move my aluminum foil back in front of me and try to make it flat along your tablecloth. Have those edges touching the table and not rounded up. And then you're gonna take your drawing, and it's wet, remember, so hold it by the edges, and you're gonna flip it upside down and kind of hover above the aluminum foil to see where you want to place it. Once you have a good spot, you can drop it onto the foil, and then it's time to give your drawing a really good massage. You're gonna get the edges, the middle, move your hand all around with a firm pressure, and that's gonna soak up all the colors from the aluminum foil. You can test to see if this works by peeling up the corner of your drawing, and if you see any white spots, just place it back down and give it another rub. Okay, it's time for the big reveal. Peel up your paper by the corner, and as you could see, the colors all blended together and it kind of looks like a tie-dye effect, and I'm really happy with the results. There's only one little white spot, and that happened not because I didn't press in that area, but I think it happened because I got my fingerprints on the piece of aluminum foil, and so that prevented the marker from sticking to that spot. So just be careful when you're coloring the aluminum foil to not put your fingers on the spot that you should be coloring. So really just press the edge of the foil, and then your marker print should turn out perfectly. All right, now that you guys finished up your marker prints, it's time for the cleanup. So you could either take that aluminum foil and crumple it up and you'll be done with it, or if you want to redo it and make another print, you don't need a new piece of aluminum foil. As you could see, I'm taking my spray bottle and giving a few squirts of water on top of it, and then I'm going to take a clean paper towel and just wipe it from corner to corner, get all the excess marker off. And once I'm done with that, I can color that aluminum foil again, maybe in a different pattern or design this time, and I can do the whole thing over again. Of course, if you do repeat the process, you should make another drawing with your permanent marker first.